Welcome. Many warm blessings. My name is Katsura Balanza, and I am elated to be here with you on this lovely day. You are joined here on the Akashic Oracle Circle, offering insights and guidance through the Akasha, known as the mind of God, the storer of past, present, future knowledge to help assist us on our path in the now moment through gathering the collection of this knowledge. It is my pleasure to be here once more. And before we bring on questions, I would like to take a moment of silence in honoring the Akashic records, the divine guides, and masters who are a part of assisting us on this journey. And I invite you to ground, to connect with heart, with the earth, with the sky, with your breath. And we'll go ahead and Valerie, welcome on today. It's such a joy to have you with us.
Thank you. I've never done anything like this before, so I'm a little new.
Oh, well, thank you. That's very brave and courageous, trying new things and stepping outside of the comfort zone.
Yes.
Yeah. And when you say you haven't tried anything like this, as in, say, a broadcast or an Akashic reading?
Both.
Oh,
Both.
wow,
Yeah.
yay! Oh, well, welcome. Thank you so much for your vulnerability today.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah. And so before beginning, since it is so new, I'm curious if you have any questions regarding the Akasha that you would like to ask, like, or any assistance in forming questions or
Yeah.
insight that would like to receive.
Yeah. I don't know what to ask. I don't know if I. Yeah. I mean, I've been trying to do a lot of work as far as spiritual work. Um, Seem to be doing better that way. But I always could use more help, and I'm always wondering which way to go next. We're looking at a big move, so I'm just wondering if I'm going in the right direction. I don't know. Just throwing it up there. I don't know. I've heard of the Akasha records before, and that just made me very curious.
Yeah, and I do want to mention, excuse that, I have a little 3-year-old son.
Oh, fun!
Um,
Oh, that's so amazing.
yeah, yeah, just a moment, excuse.
No problem.
Yeah, so I caught most of that, and I also have Baltazar was going to join us and is having a hard time getting on, so I'm gonna quickly message him the link. He's also a reader, and can offer some additional insight. And yeah, so first off, before fully kind of delving in, thank you for doing your work. I feel like the more of us that are actively doing the inner work,
Yeah.
then the more we'll also see that reflected in our external world as well,
Hope
like,
so. Yeah.
yeah, be the peace, as Gandhi would say it.
Yeah.
Um, so, yeah, so the best way I feel like going forward is really feeling into what is most speaking to your heart right now that feels really calling to you? Is it a relationship? Is it, you know, your creativity? Is it a feeling of trying to move forward in a direction but not sure how to? And from there can kind of begin to help assist on what would help moving forward in that area. And yeah, like what are you trying to manifest right now? What are you trying to bring in more of?
Well, I would love to have more creativity in my life. I do a lot of creativity with, I'm a nutritional therapist. So I
Mhm.
read people and I give them hopefully good protocols and help people. Um, but I feel like I always get in the way, like my own self gets in the way of that. And I, and
Mm.
I, so I like that kind of creativity, but I also like to paint or do some kind of artistic something that, is more creative, that I
Mm.
that I have something that I can work on. And then we're looking to move across country. So we live in Oregon. We're moving to Boston,
Mhm.
the Boston area, and
Oh, that's a
yeah,
big move.
it's a big move. Yeah, and I'm like, I'm trying to. I don't know what to do with all my stuff. I have a lot of stuff, and I want to sell it, and it's like not moving. So I don't know if this is the wrong time for me to move. Like, if is it just saying like not? It's not. This house sale's not going to go through. We just got an offer on our house, and is the sale not going to be going through? Is this not the right time, or I just need to be patient and wait? I just don't know. It's very confusing.
Yeah, well, patience, that's huge. That's a
Yeah, I have no
really
patience.
important part.
None.
I think, you know, the human egoic mind likes to know all the answers and likes to have it right in
Yeah.
front of us right now.
Yeah. Yeah. That's still the ego. I forgot about that.
Um, and so, you know, and it's okay. Ego's not a bad thing. We don't wanna, condemn the ego, but we also don't want it we don't want it to get so fixated on like, on this small little aspect of the bigger picture that we forget about the bigger picture and all that's a part of it. And so the first thing, of course, that comes to mind is just being very patient. And in the process, so in the meantime, like, so you really want to focus on your creativity. You've also got this big move coming on. So the moving, you know, whenever we are in motion and we've got a lot we've got to be physically doing, there's not as much like just stillness. I mean, that tends to be a natural aspect. It doesn't have to be a part of your story and your mission, your journey that you're on. But I just, you know, it's so natural that when we need to move or we have this new thing that just takes an extra amount of energy, that we then begin to that it just takes our focus, it takes our energy, it takes our time. And
Yeah.
so, you know, that's also a lot of the things that are a part of our creative expression is focus, is just that freedom, that spaciousness, that vastness. So it's like within this big move that you have taking place, how can you create that vastness and that spaciousness where you allow yourself to let go of everything, let go of the move, let go of the details of it, selling your house, selling the stuff, the nitty gritty, and in that process and that letting go, and then just allow, like, you know, and so like whatever it takes, whether it's meditation, whether it's yoga, whatever practice you have incorporated into your life now that perhaps maybe you haven't been as dedicated to, like, just take that moment to, like, you know, do that thing, like, or maybe all it is just setting up a crystal, a couple crystals, a small little altar, and that's your space. So in the midst of all this movement that you've got going on in your life, you can have this space that's there for you. You can have that little altar space where that's where you go to, like, provoke the inner muse, provoke that inspiration to come through you. So create your space for it. Have that amongst everything that's not going to be moving. It's not going to be in transition with everything else moving. You can have that space, and you can have that, like, whether it's like just a little desk, maybe it's just a little mat, and with your stuff set up that you still want to continue to use in the meantime, while you've got while you've got this other stuff going on through your mind, and while you're doing this other extra work to get yourself ready and prepared for the move. um, what I'm getting from regarding your move is that it's not necessarily going to be like the right time is now. It's now is the right time for you to be thinking about it, for you to be focusing your energy and attention on it. But it's so while you are doing what you need to right now, it's also it's not going to happen as fast as, like, say you think it will, like, or you maybe want it to. And so right now, so keep your focus on it, don't give up that it's not going to work out. um just make sure though that you're patient. You allow it to flow as it needs to. You get the right buyer. You get the stuff, like, through taking your time, you can be more deliberate. You can be more in ease and gracefully moving through the process. And so, yeah, that's the biggest thing that's coming up regarding that. So, yes, keep your focus on that. It's the right time to do it, but be really patient about it. It might be 6 months, it might be a year, but you are right now is perfect timing for you to be focusing on this. Um,
Thank you.
yes, yeah, and we have Baltazar with us. Um,
Oh, sorry about that. My technical
oh,
difficulties over here. I apologize.
Oh, no worries. Yeah, it's okay. Welcome. Baltazar is also a reader, and we have Valerie with us currently. It's a quiet day in the Akashic Circle, but um, Valerie, would you like to? We were just talking about a move that Valerie is looking into and stimulating more creativity in her life. I'm wondering if Valerie, you'd like to explain anything more to that, and we can see what Baltazar would have to add to this. That's the nice thing about having multiple readers is I have come to
Yeah.
that different readers, like sometimes we're like the message is like almost the exact same thing, and then other times it's like the same message but with a different angle that helps to give more perspective, which is
Yeah.
which is
Thank
nice.
you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Well, I feel like that I'm in the way of myself a lot because I'm an empath, and it's like I'm an empath reading everybody, everything, every energy. But then I get in the way of that, so I get a um, mixed reading, and I don't know if it's a mixed reading or not, but it seems to be making. I just did a week long um, ceremony in Cabo with tobacco medicine and ayahuasca,
Mm.
which was amazing. But and it made things a little bit more clear for me. But I always feel like I have to really think about, like, it's not black and white. It's not. I have to really look beyond. I'm a nutritional therapist, so we don't go to doctors, and it's just me treating my dogs and my husband, and I have to figure out where everything's coming from, why everybody's feeling what they're feeling, or why they're getting sick, and it's just it's just a weird thing for me to be in. It's just odd, but it works, and it's good. I'm keeping everybody alive, but it's just a little bit. It's like trying to fit the pieces of the puzzle back, and it's the wrong puzzle, or the pieces of it's just different. Like you can't find the piece for it, and then all of a sudden it all falls together. So I don't know if that's just life in general, or I just need to do more work, or if I'm not meditating enough, that I'm just too confused. I don't know. I don't know.
Uh, Valerie, what's coming through is most of our genetic need to make sense of things. And that's something that is part of the human DNA and evolution. When humans roamed the earth and there was noises in the brush, we, without knowing what was there, those that lived were the ones that didn't go and find out. They
Yeah.
understood that the possibility of it being danger. And so, um, you know, that was the quote unquote survival of the fittest, so to speak. And at times, we attempt to apply those pieces in our lives as opposed to being in the moment. So I don't get the sense that there's more you need to do. I think, excuse me, I don't think what's coming through from your lords is you're doing enough. And actually, you're doing more than enough. The question is going back into yourself and just being present. And being present at times can be really difficult for a lot of us. And trusting in that experience, that spirit is going to open those doors. Because you use your logic and intelligence very, very well and in the right ways. And so the blessing comes of being able to trust. And it harkens back to, and your lords are talking about, harkens back to, trusting and having faith in the process. And that can be really tough, Valerie. That can be really, really tough. And your lords are also talking about, your Akashic lords are saying, what did you draw? What came through from your tobacco and ayahuasca journey? What did you receive? What did you write down?
Then I'm my own worst.
What did you draw?
Yeah, I'm my own worst enemy.
Okay.
That was like, I'm doing everything to myself. Like, I was having all these issues and I couldn't figure it out. I was drinking coffee and I had to give up the coffee, and I've been drinking coffee for my whole life. And so that was hard to give up the coffee, but it was like I was my own worst enemy. I wasn't taking time to feel my body because I was just trying to move forward all the time and push through and not feel anything, I guess. That just came through me.
Yeah, absolutely. And so the question comes this way is, where did that need to, or that desire, it's not a need, but the desire, the automatic response of, oh, I have to do something now because what I'm doing is not enough. When did that start? When in your childhood did that start?
I think that's been me. That's me. That's always been me, yeah. I think that's just my childhood story. That was, parents got divorced when I was 2, and I was always trying to help everybody and keep up from there.
Yeah. And that's where your lords talk about, being able to remain present. There are some things you can do for yourself, some very solid things. And they brought through, and I haven't seen this in a long time, but they're bringing through the I know statements or the I am statements, right? To where you would write down 10 or 15 of them. I am enough for my husband. I am enough for my animals. I am doing enough in my life. And whichever ones that do not resonate with you, those are the ones we need to repeat in the mirror aloud.
Oh,
because
gotcha.
Does that make sense? Because it's a vibration that is hard for us to hear and hard for us to believe. And again, that's where, as you said, you're your own worst enemy. You're also your best. You're also your best healer. So, reframing things, you are, and you're an amazing healer for others and even for yourself. Look at your journey work. That's amazing. Many people will live 3 or 4 lifetimes before they can get to where you're at. And instead, Valerie has lived 6 lifetimes in this life without the need to continue to come back and work on things because she's already worked on them.
Yeah, it's tough. It's been tough. But I've never lived past 49 before, and I'll be 60 in April, and so I'm getting there.
Yeah. No, you're not getting there. You're there. You've arrived, sister.
Yeah. No, I'm
arrived.
Trying. Thank you.
No, you're not trying. You're doing it, sister. You've done it. And this is where Valerie looking in the mirror and writing down some of those statements so her body can believe it. There's different areas that we talk about, and the Lord talk about, so many layers that we are. We're the physical body, we're the ego, which you need to survive. We're our intelligence, we're our chakras, we are our body devas, and there's parts of us that, things don't sit well with us when the positives come in. All the other things, you have all the tools, sister. You have all of the tools. Part of this is just going back and centering again. and convincing ourselves, because everybody else sees it. Everybody else sees all the positive about you, sister, and they have for
Thank you.
years.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
So I do that.
Yeah,
I
the
ams and
Lords
I
are
know. I am and I know.
I ams and I know. I ams and I know. Write down
Thank
15
you.
of them, 10 to 15 of them, they said. And the three that are the most difficult, that do not resonate with you, that make you cringe when you say it and look in the mirror, those three work on maybe 3 times a day, maybe once a day, looking into the mirror, saying that. And then and kind of gauge yourself. I mean, it's not going to be overnight. Gauge yourself and okay, I'm starting to feel this a little bit more and believe it. Okay, great. Then you can go on to the next 3.
Yeah.
Just a few at a time, sister. You don't. The world's
I
already
get done
been
in one
created.
day. I know.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what your Lords are talking about: being present with yourself.
Yeah, I'm not
Because
really good at that.
you can do it. You can
Yeah.
completely do it, and you have done it for so many people and been present with them, sister, over and over and over. And that's why so many
Yeah.
people love you and the healing work you've done with them. They're like, oh my gosh, she's so amazing. Your Lords keep on showing me that. So many people, she's so amazing. She's been amazing in my life. Great. So let's get back into the self. This,
Thank
as
you.
they say, and the Lords, I talked about this 2020, right? The metaphor of having 2020 vision, being able to see things clearly. And these are these aspects of being able to see things clearly in yourself and in your own life.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Can I ask one more question?
Absolutely.
It's like for the universe, though. Does the Akasha Records think that this COVID thing is a germ-related thing, or is it a universe thing? Is this a universe thing for people to wake up and take better care of themselves, or is this a thing they can catch from other people? Because I just don't think it's something you can catch from other people. I think it's actually I think it's part of the global warming. But what did they say? I really want to know, because I just think the mask thing is funny. I don't think it's going to protect anybody. People have to protect themselves and their immune systems. But I don't know. What did they say?
Sister Katsura, you want to get in there first?
Yeah, and so when I first started reading, actually, is when this was back in March. Was when I finished up school, basically, for reading, learning, and so it was so big, and so a lot of us were asking questions regarding this, and so I'll share some of the insights that came through other readers at that time that have really resonated and stuck with me through this, as well as just what has been coming through and is present, and one of those was um that this is that it's helping to clear fear, that it's actually helping to clear fear from the body. And so those that have the most that needs to move through are those that will get it. And it's a blessing, while it seems like it's something that is that's this scary thing because it's so unknown, once again, that human mind, the egoic mind, we want to know the answer. We want to know right now, we don't want to wait. We want it right now. Um, that just generalized story of the ego. And so it's a blessing, while it is unknown, it's this blessing that has come through to help clear out fear in the human body. And those that have the hardest, most challenging time working through it are those that have the most to clear, to release. And so just keeping, one of the biggest things that have really been focused on as so much information comes through all over from the media is just staying in that sense of gratitude, staying in a thank you universe. thank you, Mother Nature. This is like Mother Nature coming in and like bringing in, while it's really hard, it's like a medicine, you know, like sometimes medicine, it feels like poison. It's so hard. Like, I don't know if you've done combo before.
Yeah,
Or
9 times.
yeah.
9 times. Yeah, I've done it.
It's like, this is terrible. I feel like
It's
I'm
horrible.
dying.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then afterwards, like after that intense experience, there's just
Yeah,
this
euphoria. Yeah.
euphoria, relief,
Yeah.
greater alignment. And so it's like that. It's like this intense medicine from Mother Nature herself, who has been witnessing, you know, who is alive with us, witnessing what is taking place. And and uh, and so is has brought this forward. It has been like, while it's from Mother Nature, it's also like created through like our collective consciousness saying like, yes, we're ready, yes, we want to take this on. And so it's like all of us together like making the agreement. Enough people were the majority that agreed that yes, we're ready to do this, we're ready to take this on. And so this is where we're at. And so it's so important to not get wrapped up in any kind of like any kind of, just like in general life, you know, not get wrapped up in like the fear energy, and just stay strong in the gratitude and stay really present in like the medicinal side, and seeing the medicine of it, seeing how beneficial it is to earth when we all just quiet down a little bit, when we're not moving and going really fast from place to place, but when we just take time to settle, when we take time to sit with our darkness, with our shadow, and what comes through in that.
Thank you.
Yeah. Baltazar, anything you'd like to add?
Thank you, Sister Katsura. Absolutely. Was interesting last year, probably about July. I would start doing my work, and I start doing work for others and ask what I can do through my records, um, for humanity, for consciousness, for myself, for my family, for the patients that I work with, you know, blah 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 blah, for my children. And um, so I was prompted by September, to start setting up and reaching out to others in preparation for 2020. My lords kept on showing me these are things that folks should, um, be prepared for. This is going to be an amazing year, is what my lords kept saying. I was so excited, and I'm still excited for what is transpiring, you know. And one of the things that I was prompted to do, because I sell semi-precious gems and minerals, and do incorporate tuning forks along the chakra meridian body line for chakra balancing and just overall relaxation and getting into the body. And then I open up folks' records. Well, I was prompted by my lords to start moving everything outside. And I've got a decent sized front porch, set up tables out there. And my kids were like, oh, because I used to put a lot of the stones in the living room area and so forth. And they're saying, you don't need to move stuff. You know, we're fine. I said, no, we need to have a kind of a different space. And they're like, what? But we like it. I said, I know, but it needs to be outside. And then I started being prompted also mid-November, because I usually prepare to go to Tucson or to Quartzsite, Arizona, and start ordering stones and getting things ready for Christmas, to share with folks to sell. And they said, you need to start looking online for vendors. And so I had to, you know, September, October, started really getting ready for Akashic Records readings and preparation for 2020, and then finding vendors. And I was able to find, I use 7 vendors now from around the world. Some from Afghanistan, some from Morocco,
Wow.
folks from Pakistan, some folks from China, some folks from Mexico, Veracruz, Mexico, where I find can get amethyst, that are like quartz pieces, long pieces,
Wow.
and start building and trusting that relationship. And I'm like, I didn't question it anymore. I'm like, okay, this is what I need to do, so I'll do it. Start doing it. And then I didn't get a lot of folks that wanted to get their records read at that time. And I said, okay, well, I'm doing my part. But the few that did, started understanding this is going to be an amazing year. You need to be prepared. Be prepared. And like, why do you have everything outside? I said, it's part of the preparation. That's what I need to do. Well, they're under my carport and on my porch. And of course, it's helpful for folks because they don't have to feel kind of enclosed and encased because of their concern, what they feel with the virus or even flus, just regular flus and cold and being around my family or each other. And it was all in preparation. Well, I do in my personal life, I was in the seminary for a lot of years, did a lot of Jungian comparative religion philosophy, did a lot of Jungian study and depth psychology in my job. And so Jung started coming through me really strong through my records and being able to see 2020 and to be able to see clearly. And when we started going on the lockdown with the masks, I put a picture on Facebook and it's a bunch of different people, ethnicities, ages of folks wearing a mask. And Jung came through my records. Jung came through and it was the great unmasking has begun. And it's ironic, right? That everybody's wearing a mask, but the great unmasking has become where we can see, we no longer have to wonder about somebody's shadow. We can see their shadow. Yeah. And everybody else can see their shadow. And we can see each other for who we are, even with our masks on, right? And this is such a great spiritual time and learning of the self for humanity, like Sister Katsura was talking about, because we no longer need to hide. Others no longer need to hide. And that's a part of evolution, is facing ourselves, facing our neighbors or loved ones, and accepting folks for where they're at and loving them anyway, right? Because many of us in our society wear several quote unquote masks, right? Which are, it's a psychological perspective, and the Lords have brought through those psychological perspectives are aspects of the self that we need to unmask, take each layer off, take a look at ourselves, and accept each other for who we are. Absolutely, this is a great, beautiful time in humanity that is taking place because, folks, really in our world, the Lord said, you don't have the need to have to repeat and reincarnate several times and die and be reborn again. If you take on this life the way you should, you will go through 6, 7, 8 lifetimes in just this one lifetime. When we look at ourselves now, Sister Valerie, I know you see it too, and I know Sister Katsura has seen it, that many of us in 6 months have gone through things that one person would go through in one lifetime of change, of process, of healing, and we get to do that with others. And so their biological piece, absolutely. What's happening in our pollution, what's in the water, what's in the land, our fruits and vegetables, how they grow, but they don't have that higher vitamin content anymore.
Yeah.
We need to look at our immune system. What are we doing with our eating? How can we build up our immune system? Gut health, and Sister Valerie, you know this too. If we don't have gut health, guess what? You're going to get sick. You're going to have a compromised lower immune system.
Yeah.
I say this all the time, and I've seen it with folks at my job. Now I get to the hospital and everybody gets wanded. We're all wearing masks, and I go see patients sometimes, and I'm, gowned up and down with PPE. And folks will say, oh, wash your hands, wash your hands. And I always think to myself, I'm so grateful that we have this COVID thing going on, because I only know men who go to the bathroom and they're freaking slobs. And they don't wash their hands when they go potty.
And I'm like, gross.
Dude.
Oh, it's so gross.
Guess what? Now, Sister Valerie,
they're
how many
washing
people are washing their hands?
Yeah, they are.
So I'm looking, like Sister Katsura says, look at the gratitude aspect. A lot comes through on reframing what is taking place. And you're right. sister, you probably see 3 or 4 things, and they're showing me this wheel, Sister Valerie, and you at the center of this wheel, and it's broken off into 3 or 4 aspects of what's going on with the virus. Your lords are saying, separate that wheel out a little bit more, like 8 to 10 times, and each one of those represents different things of money, job, spiritual abundance, society, and each one of those is affected in a different way. And so, like Sister Katsura brings through that gratitude, and that I call it reframing because I do psychology, so that's my natural language, even that comes through the records. Reframing with gratitude. Oh my God, like I do that all the time. I'm like, oh, thank you for this COVID thing that people are now washing their hands. Oh my gosh, I feel so much better. Just because of that, I'm so grateful. My kids and everybody else were around, and people are conscious of like not coughing out loud in front of others. Everybody's putting their, and I'm like, geez, this has been taught for a long time, and it takes this kind of lesson to grow spiritually, and this type of challenge to look at our fears, accept where we're at. What do we got to do to grow? Have either of you heard of Dr. Michio Kaku? He is a astrophysicist, teaches out of New York University, and he has several books, and he's been pushing this for a long time about humanity and different stages of humanities, and he calls them different types of worlds that exist. And there's a type 1, type 2, type 3, type 4, type 5. A type 3 type of humanity gathers their energy strictly from the sun. Everything is through the sun or their star. A type 2 is getting ready to do that. Type 1, they're more united in their beliefs. They still struggle, but they struggle with ease together as a humanity. He has always said, we are a type 0 humanity. A type 0. We have not evolved yet. And this is a great evolutionary time that's happening in our world, right? And so it was so interesting because when I started opening record work, and for years when I was in college, I'm like, what has to happen so as a humanity we evolve? Well, here we go. Here's one of those things right now, right? So it's just pretty amazing to see, and I'm grateful that I could be allowed to be on this earth at this time with this great journey. So it's a trip, and I absolutely love it. So I hope, Sister Valerie, that opened some other doors as well of what we were talking about, confirming some of the things that and you realize, but also adding to some of the other perspectives and theories and beliefs and what your heart is also telling you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
And one thing I just wanted to add, like regarding the masks and can we catch it from one another, and like what popped in was similar, like how we can catch a smile. Someone smiles at us, and sometimes we just can't help but smile back. We feel the joy, we feel that beauty. We also smile. So very similarly, how connected we are, and how we're able to just catch things that literally are other living organisms, or just something that we see and we feel together. It is. And so, and like coming back to the mask thing, whether it's something you believe in or not, it's important to stay true to who you are. And then also and then ask, like, how can we move together, move forward as a collective, as brothers and sisters, in a way that will help, like, because we're kind of in a high high emotional, potentially what can be considered like a trauma like state, in the sense that that so many are experiencing just such fear. Not all, but there are many who are experiencing that in like such fear. And so it's like when we come and we are meeting with someone who has just lost their beloved, just had a loss in their life, then just naturally we're more sensitive to that. And it's not that we don't want to, it's not that we're going to we don't want to pop their bubble and just say, well, life's tough, get over it, you know? It's that we want to be sensitive to their process and where they're at. And so just see it as being really it's another perspective to it. Well, it's like, well, does this help? Does it not help? It doesn't really resonate with me. See it as just a really sensitive way to move forward during this intense period. You don't need to be in the fear of it, but can just be sensitive to others who are experiencing this strong emotion around it.
Thank you. I don't have a lot of, I don't believe in what they're believing, and it's very hard for me to go there, but I need to go there more because I'm none of my, knock on wood, my clients aren't getting COVID, and their spouses are, because they're not on the protocols. And it's hard to, it's like, just do your work. Nobody wants to do their work. Do your work.
Mhm. Yeah, build community. I think that's so important. I like that you mentioned that earlier, building our immune system. And Balthazar touched on that also. Yes, really building our own inner strength and building our bodies to expand.
Well, even if you eat like a piece of candy, it lowers your immune system for 7 hours. So if you go eat candy and then go out in public, I mean, if you believe in the germ theory, then you could get sick easily because you just shut down your immune system, and then you went out and said, "Hi, give it to me." You know what I mean? So the sugar thing has to go, and people are eating a ton of sugar. In America, we eat a ton of sugar.
Yeah.
But it's
And that's even harder to stop than drinking coffee. The
yeah,
sugar,
I
you know
do
what I mean?
both. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do sugar. I can't do coffee. I have to be the example. I can't do grains unless they're whole. I'm very. Yeah, it's been fun. I'm doing the work for everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's you started doing this work and in preparation for this time, Valerie, a long time before this time, right? So that
Yeah.
way you could
Yeah.
be there and be present and already on your journey and be able to be that example as well. Absolutely.
I
Absolutely.
try
And
to help
that's
everybody I can help.
right. And that's exactly um, what I heard coming through with Sister Katsura is that aspect of as we're present for others, we're present for ourselves, right? And um, to me, what comes through and what's come through my records is compassion, is
Yeah.
having
I know.
compassion for others where they're at. Which is, difficult to do. And the more difficult it is to do with others, we recognize that it's a reflection, and that's a reflection for us
It's so true. Yeah. Yeah. That's so
that
true.
perhaps we're lacking a little compassion for ourselves,
Yeah.
you know. Um, but it's a beautiful piece because you're there, you're doing it, you're seeing it, and I mean, what a spiritual gift this is that we're on these days. I mean, just a spiritual gift and journey.
Yeah. It's definitely a roller coaster. It's amazing though. We can see so much more and we can hear so much more than we could hear before. There's not as much clutter in the message as
Yes,
they were. Yeah, you can get the messages a lot faster.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you both.
Yep. You're welcome.
Yeah, thank you for joining.
Yeah, that was the first.
Beautiful. What was that?
I said that was the first.
Oh, yeah. Well, thank you. Yeah, thank you for joining us and for that experience. Yeah,
Yeah, thank
it's so
you.
special. Well, we are coming close to our closing time. Thank you so much for joining us, Valerie. And if you are interested in a deeper reading, you can contact Balthazar or myself. Who knows? Maybe we could do like a dual reading. That might be fun. But yes, do feel free to reach out. And yeah, I'm not sure. You on Facebook, or was it through WhatsApp that you found us?
Through chat. Was it chat? I don't know that name. It was through a group that I was through. I can look on it was through an app.
Okay, well, feel free to
Oh,
It was
reach
through
out.
Yesia's app. Through the combo.
Okay, the Heart Temple.
Yeah.
Yes.
Heart Temple. There
Yeah,
we
oh
go.
feel
wow.
free
Oh, that's
to reach
neat.
out if you'd like to, if you'd like another reading, can
Thank
be
you.
happy to help set that up. Yeah, or just a more in-depth reading, of course. Yeah.
Thank
Mhm.
you. Thank you. I know. I don't know what. It's hard for me to know when to stop saying stuff and when to start saying stuff sometimes, but I get channeled and it goes through my mouth and I can't do anything about it. So
Yeah, what a gift.
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know if that's a gift sometimes. If you're talking to the wrong people, I don't know. I just say what's there and it just comes out. So thank you
Mm.
both.
You're
Yeah.
welcome.
All right, you guys
Thank
have a
you.
wonderful day, or I hope you have a wonderful day. Enjoy the.
Oh,
Are you in the Northwest?
Thank
Are
you.
you in the sun somewhere?
I'm in the Northwest,
You're in the
and
rain.
yep. Balthazar, are you in California, right?
Yeah, I'm in the Fresno area.
Oh, I used to live in Fresno. I like Fresno.
Yeah, we just
Nice.
got rain this morning. Beautiful breeze. It really chilled off, and there's big poofy clouds around right now. It's so
Wow.
beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Well, I hope you both enjoy your days. Thank you so much for taking time with me.
Yeah, thank
Thank
you for
you,
joining me.
Valerie.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Okay.
Bye bye.
Ciao, ciao. All right.
Hi,
Oh,
sister. How are you?
hi. Good. Thank you. Thank you for
Good.
joining. I'm gonna go
Yes,
ahead
I'm just
and
getting a handle on. Yeah. Go ahead.
yeah, we'll go ahead and close the records unless there's
Absolutely.
anything you want to ask. I'd be happy to give some insight.
I'm good. I'm good right now. I'm good
Okay.
right now.
All
And how
right.
about for
So,
yourself?
um, I think at some point I would maybe like to connect deeper and ask you some questions, but maybe, yeah, not
Wonderful.
right this moment. And
Sure.
so we'll go ahead and allow the messages that came through to fully integrate into our bodies, fully integrate into the earth so that all may feel the benefits of the message. And with deepest gratitude, we close the Akashic records. With deep gratitude, the Akashic records are closed. And with such love and such gratitude, we close the Akashic records.
Mm,
Thank you.
Thank you.